Welcome to Lesson 7-12, Rules, Tables, and Graphs, Part 2. Today, students will use rules, tables, and graphs to compare real-world relationships and solve problems. Please turn to page 270 in your math journal for today's math message. Here is today's math message. This is problem number 1 on page 270 in your math journal. Carla earns $20 per hour. 1A. Write a rule that describes how much Carla earns. So the rule that I wrote is number of hours worked times $20 equals earnings. 1B. Use the rule to complete the table, then enter the ordered pairs to represent the data in the table. So if Carla worked 1 hour, that means she would earn $20. If Carla worked 2 hours, she would earn $40. And if Carla worked 3 hours, she would earn $60. The ordered pairs for this table would be 1 and 20, 2 and 40, and 3 and 60. Let me remind you that in a table you can look for 3 different rules. You can look for a rule that has to do with the X column. You can look for a rule that has to do with the Y column, or you can look for a rule that has to do with the relationship between the X and the Y. So in part A, we wrote a rule that talked about the relationship between the X term and the Y term, and this is called corresponding terms, and we learned that in our last lesson. So we already know that the pattern between the X term and the Y term is times 20. What pattern are you noticing about the X column? I can see that the numbers are going up by 1, so the rule for the X column is +1. What are you noticing in terms of the pattern for the Y column? You should notice that the pattern as you move down the column is increasing by 20. So the rule for the Y column would be +20. In today's lesson, you are going to use tables and graphs to compare situations in which there are 2 different rules that relate to 2 sets of corresponding terms. Turn to page 266 in your math journal, and I would like for you to label the line that is in pink Andy's earnings, like I did here. Then I would also like for you to plot the ordered pairs from today's math message to represent Carla's earnings on this same coordinate grid, and label her line Carla's earnings like I did on this coordinate grid. Now I would like for you to analyze this grid and answer a couple of questions. How many hours will it take Andy to earn $40? Well, let me look at my grid. All right, here's $40 right here. So I'm going to start at the $40 mark and move to the right until Andy's line intersects with that 40 line. And I can see that it is going to take Andy 5 hours to earn $40. How many hours will it take Carla to earn $40? Let's analyze the grid and see. So I'm going to go up to the $40 mark on the coordinate grid and move to the right until Carla's line intersects. And then follow it down, and I can see that it's going to take Carla 2 hours to earn $40. Let's analyze the graph some more for some more questions. If they both started to work at 8 a.m., by what time will Andy have earned $40? By what time will Carla have earned $40? Using the information from above, I know that it's going to take Andy 5 hours to earn $40. So if he started at 8 a.m. and if I counted forward on the clock 5 hours, so 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock is 5 hours from 8 a.m. and that is when he will earn the $40. And I already know that it only takes Carla 2 hours to earn $40. So if she started at 8 a.m., 2 hours from 8 a.m. is 10 a.m. So Carla would earn her $40 by 10 a.m. and Andy would earn his $40 by 1 p.m. About how many more hours than Carla does Andy have to work to earn $50? And how do you know? So to find the answer to this question, I'm going to need to go back to my chart and do some analyzing. So I'm going to find $50 on my y-axis, and then I'm going to move across the x-axis until it intersects with Andy's line. And I can see that Andy's line crosses over the $50 earning mark at a little over 6 hours. If I go up to the $50 earnings on the y-axis and travel across to the right until Carla's line intersects with 50, I can see that it is about halfway between the second and the third hour where she would earn her $50. And earlier we discovered that it would take a little bit more than 6 hours for Andy to earn his $50. So to give an estimate, a little more than 6 minus about 2.5 would be about or a little bit less than 4. To show this on a number line, it would take Andy about 6 hours, or actually a little bit more than 6 hours, to earn his $50. And if we were trying to figure out what the difference was between how many hours it took him to earn his 50 and Carla to earn her 50, we know that it's only going to take Carla about 2.5 hours to earn her 50. So it's a simple subtraction problem, but we can look at this on a number line just to get the estimate. So we're going to jump backwards 1, 2, and a half right there. So it's going to take Andy between 3.5 and 4 hours, probably a little bit closer to 4, because if we looked at the chart, we saw that it was going to take Andy a little over 6 hours to earn his $50. So a little bit less than 4 hours difference between earning $50 between Andy and Carla. Turn to page 270 and 271 in your math journal, and now you are going to practice analyzing a problem on your own. You're going to use rules, tables, and graphs to analyze a foot trace problem. Please make sure that you read the directions for problem 2 on your journal page very carefully. And I will go ahead and do that for you now before you have a chance to practice this on your own. Follow along with your eyes. Eli is 10 years old and can run about 5 yards in 1 second. His sister Lupita is 7 years old and can run about 4 yards in 1 second. Eli and Lupita have a 60-yard race. Because Lupita is younger, Eli gives her a 10-yard head start. Complete the tables showing the distance Eli and Lupita are from the starting line after 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and so on. Use the tables to complete problem 2. Go ahead and do that now. You may want to plot the ordered pairs on the next page and label the lines Eli's race and label the other line Lupita's race on the same coordinate grid so that you can analyze the data and answer the questions. Good luck!